Hello, good morning, children. Hope you are doing well. And before we begin, let's warm up and refresh your childhood memory. So, will you feel happy to answer my questions? I know, of course, you will all. So, let's get started. So, children, do you recognize this musical instrument? Okay, yes, photo of xylophone, and it is, I guess, some of your first toys, and I believe it is a great toy because as a child, it helped you to enjoy music, and also there is a connection, strong connection between your music and a brain. Once I read a story how music is very important for a child development. When a child first learn how to hold sticks of this musical instrument, they in turns help in development of gross motor skills, and he dances to music created by him. If he does so, the it is activating the cerebellum of our brain, which controls the motor movement like walking, standing, coordinating, and different body parts. So I hope, do you all agree now that this is a great gift? Okay, moving on, pay concentration on the background music which you can hear. Just give me a second, I'll be playing it. Okay, tell me, which musical instrument did you hear? So, if your answer is exactly the xylophone, then you are absolutely right. You can hear clearly, right? Okay, I said you can hear it, right? So, if I turn down the volume, okay, I'm playing it again, and but the volume will be not so high. Now, can you hear it? I guess you can, but barely hear it. Okay, so why? Because you only hear through your ears. When I turned down the volume, you could barely hear, right? But today I want to tell you a story, a biography, a real story about the girl who can't hear but plays xylophone and other percussion instruments very nicely. And you know what is so interesting about that girl? You must be curious to know that she can't hear even, right? So, of course, let's show you who is that girl. So, meet, this is Evelyn Glennie, and she is a percussionist. So, what is a percussionist? A percussionist who plays the musical instruments which doesn't have strings, right? Which you play through percussion with some striking movement against the instrument. So, are you ready to discover that how Evelyn Glennie was able to listen to the sound although she couldn't hear? Yes, so let's get started. You need to read along with me. So this is the chapter Sound of Music, and this is the part 1 of the chapter, and I told you the story is about Evelyn Glennie listens to the sounds without hearing it. So before you read, this is a statement made by a famous John's Blades that God may have taken her hearing, but he has given her back something extraordinary. What we hear she feels far more deeply than any one of us. That is why she expresses music so beautifully. So through this chapter you will understand how she did so beautifully even if she couldn't hear any word, right? And read the following account of person who fought against a physical disability and made her life a success story. And really, you can find the documentary made on Evelyn Glennie, and I'll be sharing a link to you to watch that to enhance your knowledge about this. So let's get started. So rush hour crowds jostle for position on the underground train platform. A slight girl looking younger than her 17 years was nervous yet excited as she felt the vibrations of approaching train. So the scene here is of a platform, and the word jostle means push roughly, and daunting means frightening, and slight means small and thin. So it is, underground, and there is huge rush at the platform. People are pushing each other to get away. So we usually see it is there. People jostle means they push each other, and there is a small thin girl, and this girl is Evelyn, right? Look, this girl is Evelyn. Evelyn is standing at platform waiting for the train, and author is saying that she doesn't seem to look like a girl of 17 years, means she looked younger to that, 17 years of age, and she was both nervous as well as excited to feel the vibration. Why did she, feel? As I mentioned earlier, she was deaf, right? How did she, trying to feel? So question is, why, she is at railway station, and why she is nervous, why she is excited. So it was her first day at the prestigious Royal Academy of Music in London, and daunting enough for any teenager fresh from a Scottish farm, right? But this inspiring musician faced a bigger challenge than most. She was profoundly deaf. So what I'm trying to say is these lines answer my first question, that why she had been at railway station, because she was going to Royal Academy of Music in London, and perhaps this was the reason for her nervousness too. You must be wondering why, because she was from a Scottish farm, means from countryside in Scotland, and countryside is as same as village, what we call it in India. As you know, village life is not as fast as that of city life. So she was worried because she was only 17 or less than 17, not an adult who is going to city all alone by herself. So nervousness is quite obvious in such kind of situation for one who is already had carrying a disability, and she could not hear, she was deaf. So author here is trying to explain that Evelyn wanted to become a musician, and therefore she was moving to academy, and the challenge of moving from fast life to from slow life to fast life is smaller as compared to the challenge of becoming a musician as a deaf.